Hi, now that you've finished looking at your case studies, brain and language development, it's time to look at how they develop their thinking, or what we call cognitive development. And we look at two theorists who believe they know how your case study or client developed their thinking, Piaget and Vygotsky. So we're going to look at Piaget first, and he's actually the most famous of the learning theorists. In fact, that his 4 stages of cognitive development is found in almost every modern psychology textbook. But what we want to do is look and really see if that's what's going on in your student or client or your case study. So in this assignment, just like in all of these, you're going to describe your case study's cognitive development according to Piaget, and then defend a teaching strategy appropriate for that development. So to describe cognitive development according to Piaget, I would really suggest reading this part of the textbook, because they do a really good job of outlining it for you. And if you do use the internet or other resources, please make sure you cite them, but let us know if you find a great one so that we can all share. You can also find a myriad of different websites on Piaget, and also lots of videos and multimedia on each of the stages. Perhaps the most famous one is this video on the conservation task, in which 2 different children, because their thinking is different, they come up with 2 different answers according to this task. I would also highly suggest that you talk to your case study to find out if you can confirm whether or not they're at that level of Piaget's development. Once you do that, then you're going to be looking for a teaching strategy that will support your case study's current cognitive development according to Piaget, and then defend why you think it works. Keep in mind, you'd want to think about how it matches and supports Piaget's development for that particular age group or level, how it helps develop their organization of information called a schema, and what Piaget also said, how does it help develop their adaptation of new information through assimilation and accommodation through something called disequilibrium of the information. And what that basically means is, if you have something that doesn't fit your schema, it throws it into disequilibrium or unequalness, and then they have to figure out through learning how to get it back into the schema through assimilation and accommodation. So there's some wonderful, the text has some excellent guidelines for having some strategies that you could teach your client or case study, and you probably don't even need to look more beyond that, because they do such a good job. And then you're going to, in step 3, communicate your answers. Most people do it through writing again, but I encourage you to use the multimedia. And if you can use that multimedia to also defend your answer, if you find a great video on a cognitive test that your case study can do, then you'd want to illustrate it through that video. That's great. And then you'll want to put all of you'll develop this section, then remember to keep this section at the end so that you can put it together in one big case study. So I suggest always not to lose it by emailing it to yourself via attachment, and so you don't lose it. And we'll look at an example real quick of what this might look like. So we're going to have our example of Jeff, and Jeff should be, according to Piaget, in hypothetical deductive reasoning, or what we call formal operational thought. That means that Jeff can think in the abstract and consider a variety of possible answers. And so to test Jeff, we give him this scenario in which he has to consider multiple problems, and also a YouTube clip in which we may say, what would people might say if they had no thumbs? And from those answers you can deduce what level that child or client is at. Then a teaching strategy to help accommodate and assimilate this information into Jeff's head is to get some problem solving done. So problem solving is requiring somebody to go through a series of steps in which Piaget might say, if you're going to be at a higher level of problem solving, then you're going to do something called a heuristic, or some type of algorithm in which you take step by step to develop to get that information into your schema. And so this is one defense of why Jeff is at formal operational thought. And that's it. All right. Thank you very much.